Welcome to Science Manthan. Today, we're going on a fascinating micro to macro journey to discover what truly makes up the meals on our plates. I mean, we eat every single day, right? But how often do we actually stop and think about the complex science and the incredible logistics behind every single bite?
Okay, let's dive right into this and ask ourselves a seemingly simple question. Do you really know what's in your food? And hey, I don't just mean the ingredients listed on the back of a box. I mean, do we genuinely understand the molecular makeup and the incredible global journey of our daily diet? It's a journey that literally starts in the soil, passes through intricate supply chains, and ends up as the molecular building blocks of our very bodies. To unpack all of this, we'll follow 5 steps. 1. Testing food for nutrients. 2. The multi-nutrient matrix. 3. Millets. 4. Powering up fortified foods. And 5. The journey of food miles.
Section 1. Testing food for nutrients. The DIY Kitchen Lab. You know, you really don't need a multi-million-dollar facility to see the science hiding in your pantry. Simple chemistry reveals the invisible building blocks of our meals. If you want to find starch, you just add a little iodine solution. If it turns a deep blue-black, boom, starch is present. What about fats? Well, a simple paper test works perfectly. If you press the food onto paper and a translucent, oily patch remains, even after it dries, you've got fat. Just don't eat the paper afterwards. And for proteins, using a copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide solution, which is also known as the Burette test, will actually develop a rich violet or purple color. It's almost like magic, but it's pure observable science showing us exactly what's fueling our bodies.
Section 2. The multi-nutrient matrix. Breaking the single nutrient myth. We kind of trap ourselves in this binary way of thinking, right? We'll call bread carb and steak a protein. But honestly, nature is just way more intricate than that. Take everyday milk, for example. It's actually a complex, dynamic matrix of proteins, fats, and minerals all suspended together. When you consume it, you aren't just getting one benefit. You're getting this fantastic, multifaceted nutritional package. And you can literally see this pattern everywhere. Take peanuts, for example. They offer a fantastic blend of both proteins and fats. Pulses, which are a staple in so many diets around the world, give us proteins right alongside carbohydrates. Even everyday cereals pack in small amounts of protein alongside their main carbohydrate base. This proves exactly why relying on a diverse, varied diet is so absolutely crucial for human health. You can't just eat one thing and expect to get all the tools your body needs to rebuild itself.
Section 3. Millets, the Nutri Cereals. Ancient grains for modern health.
Let's look at a food group that naturally packs a massive nutritional punch. And these aren't just some new internet fad. These are ancient grains that have stood the test of time for very good reasons. Small-grained cereals like jawar, bajra, ragi, and sanwa have been a foundational part of the Indian diet for centuries. Today, they're rightfully earning the title of Nutri Cereals. Why? Because they are incredibly dense in vital vitamins, minerals, especially iron and calcium, dietary fiber, and complex carbohydrates that give you long-lasting, stable energy rather than a quick sugar spike. So, the real takeaway here is that millets are not just a superfood for our digestive systems, but they are incredibly climate resilient and sustainable for the planet. They're highly nutritious, remarkably easy to digest, and packed with fiber. But perhaps most importantly for our modern world, they require significantly less water to cultivate than crops like rice or wheat, and they can thrive in tough, varied climatic conditions. Talk about a win-win for both your body and the environment.
Section 4. Powering up fortified foods. When processing adds value. We hear all the time that processed food is inherently bad, but sometimes it's intentionally used to protect public health. While millets are naturally rich in nutrients, not everyone has access to a perfectly balanced diet every single day. And that is exactly where fortification comes in. Fortification is a carefully regulated process where extra essential vitamins and minerals are added back into our everyday staples during processing. It's designed to close widespread nutritional gaps in the population. Thanks to oversight by organizations like the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India or the FSSAI, common everyday items actually act as stealthy delivery systems for the extra nutrients our bodies need. Think about iodized salt. That is fortification in action, preventing iodine deficiency on a massive scale. We also see this in fortified baby foods, wheat flour, and edible oils. It's a brilliant public health strategy that improves nutrition without requiring people to drastically change their daily eating habits.
Section 5. The journey of food miles. From farm to plate.
Let's zoom all the way out to the macro level now. And talk about the physical footprint of our diet. Before you even take a single bite, your meal racks up what we call food miles. This is a really important metric that tracks the vast physical distance your food had to travel from the farmer who grew it all the way to the consumer who eats it. And as you might guess, the higher the food miles, the heavier the hidden cost of your meal.
Let's see how this builds up. It takes a massive, multi-phase chain of events just to bring a simple grain to your dining table. First, the farmer grows and harvests the crop. Then comes threshing and winnowing to separate the grains, followed by storage. Next, those grains are transported to mills for grinding and processing. The resulting flour is packaged, shipped out to retail shops, purchased by consumers, and finally cooked and served on our plates. At every single step of this 6-phase journey, energy is burned and distance is covered. Looking at that highly complex supply chain, we have to ask ourselves, why does it actually matter if our food comes from the farm down the road versus from across the world? What is the actual real-world impact of high food miles? Well, environmentally, shorter food miles mean fewer trucks on the road and fewer cargo ships on the ocean. By buying closer to home, you are directly helping to lower transportation costs, drastically slashing the carbon emissions that are warming our planet, and cutting down on the localized air pollution created by massive freight networks. It's a huge deal.
Economically and physically, buying local is just as impactful. It directly supports your regional farmers and agricultural communities. Furthermore, because the food spends way less time sitting in the back of a truck or a warehouse, the produce that ends up on your plate is as fresh and nutrient-dense as possible. It really is a fundamental pillar of promoting long-term environmental sustainability. Key takeaways: connecting the micro to the macro. To wrap up and connect all these pieces together, from the microscopic nutrients to the global supply chains, your body needs a very specific toolkit to thrive. Carbohydrates and fats are your body's energy source. Proteins are the building blocks for growth and repair. Vitamins and minerals act as your defensive shield, protecting your body from diseases. And a truly balanced diet must include appropriate amounts of all of these, alongside essential roughage and water, tailored to your age and activity level. I want to leave you with this final thought. True well-being comes from not just understanding the chemistry and science of our meals, but fundamentally respecting the food and the planet that provides it. When we minimize our food waste, understand exactly where our food comes from, and make mindful choices, we're setting ourselves up for a lifetime of genuine health. So the next time you sit down for a meal, ask yourself, what amazing micro and macro journey did this food take just to reach my plate? Like, subscribe, and share for such more science-related videos. Also, drop your comments and queries in the comments section. We will catch you in next one.